Windmill Mark III install video number 5. Well, I had to do a little bit of tweaking to get the Windmill Mark III in there. First of all, I did have to bend that tab up a little bit. And what's interesting is I only had to bend the left side up. The right side was bent up far enough with no problems. I did have to redo the battery connection here, and basically all I did was take it off, kind of route it around the back, and put a little bit of a bend in there, not quite 90 degrees, but close enough to 90 degrees, and the cable goes around to the back side there. One other thing that I had to do that probably most people won't have to do is I upgraded my bike to the Ducati Ignition, and I mounted the CDI above the battery, bolted it to the plate underneath the seat. But anyhow, the wiring harness I had for the CDI going back there, I had it bolted underneath the existing bike wiring harness, and that didn't give enough clearance for this to come in. So I basically had to just take off a couple of tie straps, put it alongside of it, and reroute it a little bit. One thing I wasn't able to do, I have to go to the AutoZone and get some fuel line because the airbox sits a lot slower. My fuel line used to go and lay right along the top of the engine here, where the gearbox mates up underneath the airbox, and went over to the other carb. Well, now I need to route it in front of it, and it isn't long enough. It's like probably maybe an inch too short. So I have to go get some more fuel line so I can put hook the fuel lines back up. One other minor concern I have, and I'm open for suggestions for this if anybody can help me out here, is I'm not sure if they've changed the mounting of the battery on newer models, but on the 2006s, you can see I only have one battery strap, and so the battery, not that it ever falls out, but it's kind of loose in there a little bit. I don't know if it's going to get to the point of contacting the Mark III. It doesn't, maybe a good bounce or something like that. My battery seems to sit in there pretty decently, but just a little concern. Right now there's probably about a ½ inch, 3/4 inch gap between the battery and the Mark III, and I just want to make sure that it doesn't make contact. So I got to try to maybe figure out a way to secure that a little bit better, or ride it a little bit and see if it is contacting it, and if it is. But if there's any suggestions out there, I'd appreciate it. One other thing, and sorry for having to move the video, I'll do this real quick. As I mentioned, my breather hose, and as you can see my breather hose down there. I didn't have to reroute that at all. My gas tank breather hose, it fit in there nicely, and the Mark III doesn't contact it at all. I think one other thing I forgot to mention too is, before I put the lid on, is I took some sealing grease, and it's not regular grease. It's specifically made for airbox filters. You can get it at your local bike shop, and I put sealing grease all the way around the gasket on this before I put it on. So I have the oiled filter in here, sealing grease mounted on there. All that's left is to mount this, get some fuel line, and I'll be riding it this week and testing it out. You got any questions, go ahead and post or PM me, and we'll see how it works.